This ain't no joke, this ain't no game. This that CSC game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55 was goody. Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. All the shows spread fake news. We just call it podcast. West Joey, Sam, Sean, Dalton. And you know that boy Higgy. He said he want small fries. Tell him they better make him big. Yeah, you already know what we be on.
You bet. Jordan. Here he goes. This place is gonna.
If we set it and set it in stone, sit in the seat, set up your phone. You in the Cardinal sports zone.
Straight steal of home. The slide. The Cards win.
The magic is working tonight. How do you know when things are
The emotional journey to the championship.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wallman. Joe, you are not on camera at all. Sean's too much on camera.
Which one am I at the bottom?
No, you're.
There you go. There you go. We are coming to you from a super filled air night, not only by the selection committee, but here at Shoot 360. It's not their fault. Gracious hosts. We love them. We appreciate them. Let's see. Here with my guys, Sean Barber. Not going to say anything negative about him this time.
How's it going?
Wait till next time. And the big little brother, Joe Wallman.
Acknowledge me. Sean,
I need to hear you first.
acknowledge me.
I hate you, Sean. You're about fired, honestly. Listen, the streak is over. Kevin Wright, shout out to him for putting out a picture every day for the last 5,000 days, celebrating U of L. We're coming to you live from the beautiful Shoot 360 facility. Don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or however, send us your questions on social media. Check on the graphic to see how you can follow the CSZ podcast on social media and how to help support us monetarily. We've got the YouTube subscriptions. The chat gives a lot of different ways. We've got some ways underneath, Joey, where you can just do one-time things. It's awesome. Allows us to do things like cover the tournament in Charlotte, which we had a great time doing. Hit that thumbs up, though, while you're here on YouTube. Make sure you're watching on YouTube. If you can, it'll help us out more. Shout out to our sponsors, Fitness Market, Four Pegs, the Collision Crew, Course Crew, Cherry Pick, and Shoot 360, Mossy Oak, Planet Fitness, Rally House. Appreciate all those guys. Really quick before we get started, before we get to the chat line, man, this is like 8 shows in a row. We've started with some somber news. Last week, our friend Derek Anderson lost his mother, and we were praying for him. And his brother Red actually played basketball in a couple of leagues with me and Joey. Well, we found out this morning Red passed away this morning unexpectedly. So that whole family had just reconciled. I don't know if y'all know the whole Derek Anderson story, but they had all just reconciled. Red had wanted that for a long time. Derek had wanted it for a long time, and they got that together, and life's just fragile. It could be gone in the blink of an eye. So just pray for that family. If that's something you do, pray for them. They are going to need it. Guys, got back. So let's get to the chat line first, and then we're going to talk about this weekend. Fabian Bradley with a great question. Why is Pat Kelsey on KSR radio and not a Louisville media show? I believe he's on ESPN radio, and Net Doof Canoe just happened to be on there with it. Eric says UNC would have been a 3 seed with our record. No doubt. David says, my soul almost left my body. We were starting to set up, and I was like, hey, guys, let's get this set up. The bracket started, and before I could even say started, our name was up there. And Luke Whitehead was in here with us. Now, we did tell y'all we're going to have a bunch of former Cardinals in here with us. They left because we couldn't get the everything. We hope everything's going well. Sean, can you say hello? Can you all hear Sean?
Can you hear me?
Clearly. Can you hear Joey?
Yo.
Hope so. Y'all let us know in a second. But yeah, my soul absolutely left my body seeing the seating. That's great. Stephen Pollard says, "What the heck was that? NCAA hates us." Our homie Allie Jack says, "Selection committee is laughable. I hope we bust Auburn's butt if we can get by Creighton." I feel like we played Creighton in the opening round of the NCAA tournament before. We have, right?
We lost.
The national consensus is that Creighton has beaten Louisville. No respect at all. Even Bobby V picked Creighton. Yeah, thank you, Fabian. We appreciate that. Can you all hear Joey and Sean? I know I've not let them talk too much.
Check.
Howdy.
Sean needs more volume. Sean's volume's all the way up. So I'll have to take my equipment into the shop and figure it out. But y'all can still hear them. Y'all probably just have to aim y'all's voices at the laptop because it is picking up external noise. But let's get right to it. Very interesting weekend in Charlotte with a very weak end as far as I was concerned. I was 100% going to come sleep till about 5 a.m., get up, and head home this morning. And then we got back to the hotel, which was a 90-second walk from the Spectrum Center. Can't say enough good things about that hotel and about the facilities there at the Spectrum Center. The staff, the ACC, gracious hosts, helped us out every step of the way. They helped people out whether they had been media forever or just a short amount of time. So it was fantastic. We're walking up to the hotel room, and I get a text from the Valet. So the way you do it there is you put your car in Valet when you get there. And every night around midnight, it tells you, hey, you're about to get charged for another day. So it was, I got a text. It was like $68 will be charged to your card in 60 minutes. And I looked at Wes and I said, let's go. Let's just go. We had actually, it wasn't immediately. We went upstairs. I started putting away some of our stuff because we took all of our equipment so that we could broadcast live after the win and celebrate with the team. That didn't happen. So we started packing some stuff away. And then we had everything packed up. I laid down in the bed, turned the TV on, and then I got that text. And it was like, all right, let's just go. So I drove till about 4 p.m. and then 4 p.m. I drove till about 3 a.m. and then Wes drove the rest of the way. He weaves a lot, so I don't know if he was sleep driving, but we got home safe. So it is what it is. But look, I was excited just to go to the ACC tournament, but then to get there and then find out I'm sitting right behind Pat freaking Kelsey, and I was going to be on camera. I mean, I don't care about being on camera, but I was on camera the entire both nights. And just to have people blowing up my phone, oh, so proud that you're able. I'm proud that I was able to do it. That's something I've been working for a long time. So thank you to Louisville Basketball. Thank you to Dana Brown. Thank you to everybody up there that made that trip. I mean, you go in the media room, they got cases full of drinks, all you can drink. They got snacks. You could eat snacks if you wanted to. I didn't. Y'all know Wes probably filled up his backpack and took most of those home with him. But it really was a great time. Except for the last 10 minutes of the game. I enjoyed myself the first half, enjoyed myself, battling back and forth with them the first half of the second half, or as I like to call it, the third quarter. Doesn't matter where we're at. And, so let's get to the recap. Terrence Edwards scores 29, Chucky adds 14, and that's about it as the Cards fall 73-62 to Duke in their first ever ACC title game in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was the tale of two halves again. The Cards won the first half. Again, Duke won the second half, again with the help of a few people in stripes. The Cards are battling with Duke early. The big man issue really is the issue we talked about the other day. Maluka Duke with two dunks early to put Duke up 8-7 and to put his testicles on somebody's shoulder. Chucky has all 7 points at this point, and we think, man, 7 points in the first 2 minutes of the game is going to be a great game for Chucky. It was not. As he didn't score again until the last 2 minutes of the game or so. We're 4 minutes in. He's got 7 points. It's 8-7. Everything's good. Their interior force is the only issue I was worried about prior to the game. It has been in full effect so far. The refs have shown no desire to blow the whistle either way. A 5-0 Noah Waterman run puts the Cards up 12-11. Noah's going to be exhausted by the end of this game, and he was. This guy is huge. And it was then I realized it wasn't just this guy. There was another guy that was the same. I've told y'all before, Mekhi Becton is the largest human being I've ever been next to in person. This was like having two Mekhi Bectons right there, and you're battling against them, and it's just ridiculous. 2 straight threes by them put Duke up 17-12, but Terrence Edwards, the second, hits a 3 on the very next play. The Cards are battling the Dukies and putting up a fight. Defense leads the offense as a Scott layup makes it 22-19 Duke. On the very next play, TE2 forces it an and one, and it's 22-21. He misses the free throw. An absolute horse spit foul gives Noah his second foul of the game. It's reviewed, upgraded to a flagrant. Wow, the Cards are going to have to beat Duke and the refs today, y'all. It's 23-21 with 7:43 remaining in the half. At this point, Duke is shooting 50% from the field and 44% from three. That cannot continue, hopefully. TE2 with the floater again ties the ball game up at 25. Then Proctor and Fett trade threes. This is crazy but fun. Every possession sounded like a Duke national championship victory. It was so loud in there. I'm going to say this, and it may offend some of my North Carolina people, but when we went down there to watch North Carolina play Louisville in the Elite Eight, it was loud, but it wasn't this loud. This may be the loudest non-wrestling event I've ever been into my entire life. Cards are trading punches. They haven't led since the 14:04 mark, but take the lead on a Javon Hadley free throw for the first time in 11 minutes. It's 29-28 Cards. Teddy Strokes hits another 3 to give the Cards a 34-33 lead with 11:29 remaining. Booby with a putback followed by a Teddy floater gives Louisville their largest lead of the night at 38-33. With 22 seconds remaining. Boom time on a 7-0 run to end the half. Pretty pleased so far. We lead yet another ACC team at the half. We led them at the half in the first game too, though. Got to stay on top of them. Can't let that get out of our heads. Terrence Edwards leads all scorers with 15 at the half. First half thoughts, Sean. I'll go ahead while I'm reading the chat. I'll put the chat messages up here and go ahead and give us your first half thoughts.
What I liked about the first half was Duke there for a little bit. Looked like they might start trying to pull away earlier than we thought they would, because I thought they might pull away from us a little bit, but we didn't allow it to happen. Like it's been all year. We pulled right back up, pulled right back in front. I thought as long as we can maintain the energy level, which is what I worried about on the podcast prior, was our intensity level and our fatigue, that we would be able to, continue that in the second half. So I was like, okay, having to lead the first half. I'd like to have been bigger because we're up by 5 with 22 seconds left. I'd like to.
Story of your life.
Yeah, but going into the halftime with a 5-point lead, you can't ask for much more than that against that team.
Joey?
Yeah, I just pretty much like everything Sean had said, but you couldn't ask for a better finish to the first half. I think what really just like to let the air out of my sails is we get the ball first in the second half and we turn it straight over. Give the ball right, like we had a chance to extend the lead. We did not. Threw the ball away. Gave it over to them, and I believe they hit a 3. Like so, you're talking about a potential 6-point swing. 5-6-point swing. And little things like that make the difference sometimes in games, the momentum, and give the other team confidence or shoot your confidence. And by the end of the game, like our guys look wore out, exhausted. I mean, mentally, physically, they were spent. They gave it everything they had. Super proud. This is my team, my players that I root for, and I see big things the next few weekends.
Yeah, and just to let you all know, I just received an email to apply for credentials for the NCAA tournament. This game time has not been determined yet. Somebody asked about that in the group chat. Jason Baker, 2025. It's Taylor Swift. It's Cooper Flagg. It's Jeremy Wallman. I was on camera. I think more than Cooper Flagg was, but it is what it is. Let me try to get Sam this link so he can hop on here with us. All right, let's open this up, and then we'll get into the second half here shortly. Cardinal Chris, what a complete joke of a draw. The metrics point to us being a 5 seed. St. Mary's gets a 7. Their best win is Gonzaga, who lost to West Virginia, team that we beat. Make it make sense. If we didn't punish our players, we would boycott this thing. They don't deserve our fan base's money. Scott has to develop some post moves. Looks like Mitch Barnhart is still in the NCAA basketball committee. Fabian says, or get better defensively. Let me go ahead and get this link to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get back to it. Sam, where are you at? By the way, absolutely crushing. I was standing there in the tunnel when Jalen Withers was being walked back to the locker room. Had 4 Carolina players helping him. Sean, send Sam a message and tell him I just sent him the link. He might be watching, so he may know, but just in case, because I don't want to drag this dead air on anymore. It's not very good radio. We had better metrics than Clemson across the board, more quad 1 wins than them, and beat them twice, yet they are 5, and we're an 8. No, there's no explanation. West Virginia has 1 more quad win than Texas, North Carolina, Xavier, and San Diego State combined. So how does UNC get in being 1-12? This committee is a joke. Let's see how they're going to cheat the Louisville women. Oh, yeah.
Sean, what did you say the committee guy said? North Carolina got in because of their quad 2.
They were 8-0 in the quad
8-0.
2. Really going to be salty for a couple days. What a joke, but as always, go Cards. Sean, do me a favor. I know I told you to put that remote up. Go grab the remote because I forgot we were waiting on the women's draw. I turned it off because I didn't want the volume to be so loud, and I guess I could have just turned the volume down. All right, let's get to the second half. The Cards start off with an air ball in the second half. Not ideal. Duke hits a 3 and cuts the lead to 2. Oh, no. What did you do, Sean? Okay, where's the volume, though? Okay. Well, I don't know how to turn it down. Okay, they might not be able to hear it anyway. Okay, just sit that back behind you or whatever. All right, not ideal. Duke hits 3, cuts the lead to 2. The 5-point halftime lead is gone 90 seconds into the half. But Teddy Flamethrower hits another 3 to take a 41-38 lead. Teddy blazing with a 3 at the buzzer makes it 45-42 Cards. Duke comes right down, though, and ties it up at 45 with 14:28 remaining. Duke finally retakes the lead, 49-47 with 13 minutes left in the game. They followed up with a 3-pointer from the corner. 52-47 Duke. This is the most important stretch of the game. Time to Duke to cool off. Let's see if they do. No, they go on a 12-0 run, push the lead to 57-47. They did not, in fact, cool off. It's not over with yet, though. Teddy fastball with a tough 2 cuts it to 60-51. It's put up or shut up time. The Cards have held Duke scoreless the last 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Problem was they weren't able to cash in on any of that time. Fouls don't seem to be the same on both ends. It's getting away from the Cards and fast. Louisville needs a mini boom and fast. Teddy Gasoline hits another 3 to cut the lead to 64-55 with 5:36 left. Got to get a few stops to win. Not giving up yet, but Duke was just too much the last 10 minutes of the game. Joey, I'll go to you on this first. Overall feelings after the game. I know a lot of us didn't feel after the game like it was a bad. I mean, it was a loss, but it wasn't like, oh man, we lost, season's over. Blah blah blah. What were your feelings after the game?
I mean, disappointment for sure. They had a chance, but pride in my team because they fought to the last second one off the clock. In that game last night, we just didn't have enough. Yeah, we had to play 3 games in a row. So I mean, I can't really use that as an excuse. But they do have more people to sub in. We were already shorthanded before rain went down. So, and then after was it the Cal game? Was that the buzzer beater or was it Stanford?
Stanford.
So Noah had to be helped off the court during the celebration, and then he got banged up a couple times yesterday. His hip. I know he was on the bench getting his hip worked on, but everybody played their hearts out. I mean, we had some turnover. We had some plays that normally don't happen. Mental fatigue set in. Mistakes were made, but they fought all the way through. They gave it their all. 4 days rest, playing close to home, so they won't have to. Do a whole lot of traveling. I would imagine they won't. I don't know. There may be rules that they have to stay in the host city. I don't know, but I would imagine that if they didn't have to, they would not go to Lexington until the morning of. Sleep in their own beds or sleep in their own town at least. Because it's weird. Because sometimes they have to sleep. Nights before games or whatever, they have to sleep in a hotel. They can't. But either way, they'll be ready to go.
Bebu says if the Duke Center wasn't bad enough, now we got to play what's probably the second best center in the country. Then if we win, we play the best center in the country. Aaron says it's up to this team to prove people wrong. It's as simple as that at this point. Cashmere said, "What's up, Cards family? What's up, Cash?" Russ Brocky said, "So we beat Clemson twice. We beat Duke and Kentucky, and Clemson gets a 5 seed. How?" I'm confused. Well, Wes, you're normally confused, but this time it's for a good reason. Red State says, "Call me crazy, but I actually like the bracket." Crazy. Fabian says, "I agree. No need for crying. Just play ball." We got absolutely hosed with that 8 seed, and Duke made twice as many free throws as we shot total. Let me check my email. Trying to check this as we go because I will be getting updated information as we go. Okay, and as Jason Baker just confirmed, we will play at 12:15 on Thursday.
Basically first game.
Yeah, we're the opening game.
They did the exact same thing the last time we were in the tournament.
I don't remember that far back.
I do. We lost to Minnesota and
we used to get.
No, it wasn't the first because that was Steve's his bachelor party. That was at nighttime. We played Minnesota at nighttime.
We got 9 o'clock games.
No, we played.
No.
We
I thought we watched it.
I was at Steve's bachelor party. We want all the smoke. That's why they came here. Good point. All right, let's get into the next part. We are going to listen. Last night I loved the adjustments that we made. Pat Kelsey is just an absolute deal, as he likes to say. Not like the team had bad body language or attitude or anything. They fought the whole game, played the 2,472 bigs very well once they got used to them. Duke got hot and we got cold. It was that simple. We normally have a team contribution and one guy go off. Last night we didn't. We looked very tired. There's 4 minutes left in the game, and Duke went on right after they went on one of their last runs. And he looks over at the bench, and he looks at Peyton. He says, Peyton's direction is like, let's not worry. We still got this, which was really cool. And then about a minute and a half later, Fat went on a little run himself. And I may have the timing off, but then he comes up. They call a timeout. He comes over to the bench. He's like, let's go, you all. You know how we do. This game is a wrap. We got this. So very positive, very good body language. I'm with everybody else. Depth has been the reason behind our demise to an extent. I say demise, it's kind of hard. We only lost, 7 games? And all of them were to ranked teams at the time except for Georgia Tech, and we only lost a half a game that time. I'm still not giving that whole loss. What were some of the more promising things that you all took from the game yesterday, Sean?
The fact that we never gave up, because there was a point where I thought it was going to end up being like a 20-point loss. But Louisville never gave in. They still fought to the end. And they were gassed. Absolutely gassed, especially poor Chucky. Chucky was just, you could tell, he gave everything he had, literally, and probably more than that, if that's even possible. But with the NCAA tournament being 4 days off, like Joey said, then you come in, you got your first game, and you get a day off, and then you play the next game. I don't see why we couldn't pull an upset and get to the second weekend, especially with Rain coming back. That's the other thing. If Rain played yesterday, we may still lose because Duke is still uber talented, but it's not going to be a double-digit loss.
Well, we lost by 11 again, right?
Yeah.
And it really shouldn't have been. Like, they called that whack foul at the end of the game after we cut it down to 9, which I was okay. I was like, okay, single-digit loss, better ourselves from the last time. And then they called that nonsense no foul.
I absolutely 100% believe we win that game last night if Rain played. Not a doubt in my mind, because he would have been able, even if it was just 10 minutes, if he would just played 10 minutes, that's 10 minutes that he could have gave Chucky a break. He could have gave Fat a break. And they would have been still more fresh, but also he probably gets, 4 or 5 shot attempts up. Even if he only hits 2 or 3, that's, most likely 6 points. So that cuts into it to a 5-point game. And then if Chucky and Fat are, fresher, then, who knows. But I think it's a lot closer, and we most likely win that game last night. It's just, yes, he's a defensive liability sometimes, like just because of his height. I mean, he gets matched up against a lot of taller guards.
Well, it's also his quickness isn't great either. He faces smaller, quicker guards and has a little trouble.
So, but what he brings to you on offense, and we play a slightly different style of defense when he's in the game, like helping. But I think that's one thing that gets us in trouble a lot of the times is when we double team somebody, the double teamer doesn't make it back to their man, or we don't get a switch. And that happened 3 or 4 times last night with Proctor. And was that his name, right? Proctor? And, I mean, that's 12 points. I mean, he hit
proctologist
4 wide open threes, So it is what it is. Win or go home from now, from here on out, and survive in advance.
Garrett Hoover says, just need to make Lexington Louisville South again. It physically irks me to go watch Louisville basketball in that city. Now, I'm trying to remember how many times I've been there. Who do we play, Sean? You're the resident dictator, whatever. We lost it. I didn't go to the Texas A&M game against Ace Custis, or what, if that was his name. Who do we play before Ace Custis?
Oh, God. I don't remember. I just remember AC Law hitting the jumpers.
Or was it AC Law and not Ace Custis? Had the wrong dude. I cannot. You all. I've been there. So I've been there for one regular season Louisville, Kentucky win. And every tournament game in the last 15 to 20 years, it's been in Lexington. I've been there except for the A&M one. So if anybody out there is able to look that up, I would appreciate it because I'm just trying to do a show. Allie Jack says, we definitely have the get some respect factor going for us. David Weishart says, I hope this puts a huge chip on our shoulder for this week. No shame in losing to the number 1 ranked team in Duke, beat Creighton, and we get a shot at the number 1 overall seed. I don't disagree. You lose all of your edge when you experience when they call a slap happy game and don't call fouls properly. Robbie wants to know, is that the new studio? It looks fancy. No, this is Robbie. If my home studio had a basketball court that you can see over Sean's shoulder and vending machines like you see over mine, I would be bougie AF, and I'm not bougie. We are at the beautiful Shoot 360 once again. Doing the show live. Peyton was nice enough to let us do it here. We had Perrin Johnson, we had Luke Whitehead, we had Tony Williams, we had Terrence Jennings, and they have all had to leave since we had so many technical difficulties. It's okay. We won. They all when the seed came up, they were all disgusted. They were all peed off. So just to relay that information. But no, just to answer your question, no, it's not our new studio. I am talking to Peyton about building us a studio here so we can stop this ridiculous lugging our stuff up here back and forth every time we want to do a special show. Allie Jack says, yep, without playing 3 days and 3 days, maybe rain is back too. All right, I thought, since you were there, 55, didn't Nate Ament seem to cheer more for this? Actually, I didn't see any emotion from Nate. I was sitting right across from him. That's not a humble brag. Give me a second. Sorry, let me just put my credential on. I didn't see anything, and I was watching. Stanford, okay. For some reason, I always put Stanford and Georgia Tech.
And we knew that because we talked about that was the last time we had played them.
Right. But I thought, for some reason, in my head, I always put Stanford and Georgia Tech together when we blew them out. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think Georgia Tech we played after we barely beat Louisiana Lafayette in the tournament, the opening game in Nashville, and then blew Georgia Tech out, and then okay. So to my recollection, I'm undefeated in Rupp Arena as a Louisville basketball fan. So we'll try to keep that going.
So am I, 0-0.
Okay, that's fair. Well, Sean's undefeated in a lot of things then.
I'm not undefeated because I was there for the Texas A&M game. That's why I remember it. I was in person.
So it's your fault.
It was my fault.
No, fair enough. But no, I didn't see any of them. I did see, for those of y'all that want to subscribe to our premium tier, I did see somebody interesting in my in my hotel when I got back after I walked the amount of distance most people do from their bathroom to their bed at night. I know that I keep gushing about the AC Charlotte Center City Center Hotel and the Spectrum Center. Best venue hotel tandem I've ever been to, and that's including all the rest of the ones we've been to. Just amazing. Like, literally, when I walked to my car after leaving Shoot 360, I will have walked further than I had to leave out the media door and get to my hotel last night. It was amazing. But I did see somebody interesting. And for the low price of $49.99, if you zell it to me, I'll let you know who I saw. But no, it was a great night, and I did get to say hi to Dickie V. That was pretty special. Look behind. I took a picture that I put on Facebook, and the first time I took it, I had it at an angle, and I'm looking at my camera, and I'm like, no, that can't be him. So I turned it back. So I could confirm, I was like, I'm just turning it this way, just show the Louisville fans, which I should have done to begin with. And it is what it is. Took the picture. All the girls in the background were going crazy for your boy in Louisville. And then I turn around, and there's David Robinson sitting behind me. Like, what? Then I ran into a guy at the hotel. It's completely different from the one I can't tell you about yet without the payment. He can't. Right after the game, he was like, or right before the game, he was like, man, like he came up to me like he knew me, and he did. He's like, man, it's gonna be a tough game, but I'm ready for it. I was like, yeah, man, me too. He's like, I ran into you at Disney last year with your wife, and we talked. I was like, oh yeah, I remember you. And he's like, why do I keep saying he's like? Then he said, yeah, I told you that I used to listen to you and Steve do the show on Saturdays. I said, well, that's odd because I just happened to be on the phone. I had my earbuds in. I was like, I'm talking to Teresa here and talking to Steve in my ear. And Steve was like, hey, what's up, man? So I ran into him. And then I also ran into the dude.
Who was the guy from Disney?
I don't know his name.
Oh,
but I'd ran into him in
okay.
Orlando. Never ran into him in Louisville. Ran into
Okay.
him in Charlotte. Ran into him in Orlando.
I was just waiting for the big reveal. I thought there was.
And then I ran into I got something to reveal later.
Not to me.
No. And then on top of all that, I just happened to run into the guy that Steve shredded on Friday morning show. He was right behind me in line in the media check-in, so that was pretty funny too. But no emotion from Native Mint. Long story long.
Yeah, the picture I seen, like he was sitting by himself. Like there was nobody.
It was him.
Either
there was
side
an empty chair on each side, and then there was a huge Louisville donor sitting here and a huge Duke donor sitting here, which was really funny. The AC just shows the country love that Louisville's been down. They don't like seeing us win. There you go. Joey says we beat Stanford before we played A&M. I don't know why I always confuse those. Walk to your car. Don't you have a driver to go? I should have had. I did have a driver. Wes Brown.
Benson. Wes Benson.
Wes did really good for listen. Wes did really good for his first ever media coverage. I didn't even notice it during the game against Clemson because I was so into it. I told him before the game, I was like, just tweet a couple pictures, tweet a couple videos, point out a few plays that were key, and you should be fine. I get back to the hotel. There were 90 tweets. He was play-by-play in the game on Twitter. It was hilarious. It was a good time, though. He did really good. I made him carry my bag to the city to the game, like we were going to an NBA game, and I was like Jason Tatum, and he was my assistant. And he didn't. Well, I mean, he was getting paid to go down there, so I would not argue with my boss either. So it was a good time. Everybody's saying what's up in the comments. Really quickly, we're waiting for Louisville's name to be called in the women's basketball. I don't think it's been called yet.
No,
I've tried to, but to answer your question, I should have a driver. Come on, Louisville basketball. Let's get that together. We're going to really quickly reset. I'm Jeremy Wallman. This is Sean Barber. That's Joey Wallman. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, coming to you live from the beautiful Shoot 360 facilities. There's currently some shoot around, some workouts, some parties going on here. It's a party area. Really quickly, Spencer Stand. We talked about the other day. We're gonna have Spencer on the show this summer. He's gonna talk more about his Joey's calling that we're in this one 8-9 game.
I'm saying we're the 9.
And he's calling that we're going to be the 9. Let's see. Awkward radio silence. Sean, we know you wouldn't know how to motorboat.
I was wrong.
Joey was wrong.
1 degree of separation. We're playing Creighton in the first round in the men's.
Fair enough.
I just had the wrong feeling.
Go to spencerstand.com. You can see his mission statement. You can see all the ways he helps kids with type 1 diabetes. Amazing kid. He's overcoming amazing just had an amazing story. So make sure you go there. You contribute. You donate how you can. I was able to do a live donation for Cardinal Sports Zone before the game the other night. That was really cool. Sean, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. It is the hottest segment, Sweeping the Nation. Take it away, Sean. All right, we couldn't have a show, even though we We joke with Sean. We love him, but we're still going to punt kick him when we can. Let's go ahead and do this, guys. Predictions for the first game. We've got Creighton. If they put us in this, I will just lose my spit. Predictions for the first game. How far do you think this team? Still a little bit early. We may talk about this more, hopefully, on the next show, which should be after the first two games or that first game. But how do you see the first game going? How do you see the tournament going for the Cardinals? You're Sean.
Okay, sorry. I think the first it's going to be a tough game. Creighton is no pushover team, but with Rain Smith coming back, a chip on his shoulder, and it being probably a virtual home game, I think we win that game. And I think I'm going to say comfortably, probably by 10, 11 points.
Okay. Joey?
I think we win by 20.
Jesus.
Just like you said, Rain's back. Virtual home game. Fresh legs. Chip on the shoulder. They're going to be ready to beat the piss out of Creighton.
I'll allow that.
Well, yeah, you say piss all the time.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said I'll allow it.
So, yeah, it's going to be Merkin season in Lexington for the Louisville Cardinals against Creighton Blue Jays. That's the other thing. Blue in their name. We're ready to take them down with a vengeance. And as far as I legit think we're going to the Final Four. That's my, just like initial tournament bracket challenge.
Okay.
I think we're going to the Final Four.
I got to lead it. I'm not going to lead it.
So, who's our 2 seed in the region?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Tennessee, right? No.
It might be actually. I think it is.
You don't know.
You don't.
You don't know.
You don't.
He's over there just saying stuff to just be saying stuff.
I do know this.
Michigan State.
What?
Yeah. Come on, man.
Every Louisville team that has, what was the stat, Sean? Every Louisville team that's won at least 25 games has made the Final Four. Something like that. So we're going to win the NCAA championship this year. Let's go.
I'm with it.
No, I don't know. This team, the one thing that still worries me. Now, listen, I love this team. Lack of size down low. If we go up against this team, we've seen it already. Now, we can hang with them, but can we overcome them if they've got good shooting outside? I don't know that because Duke had both. Other teams have either Clemson's had the interior force. They didn't have the good shooters at the on the other. Okay, here this is us because they're going to want to put us against Van Lith. Yeah, they're going to want to put us against Van Lith.
We're going to be the Tennessee.
Oh, by the way, congratulations to Nolan Smith and the Memphis Tigers for getting a 5 seed. We talked the other day. He told you.
Hold on. So our men should have been a 6 and got an 8. Our women should have probably been a 9 and got a 7.
I told you they were going to try to play us against Haley Van Lith.
Oh, that's Elite 8 right there. Or at least Sweet 16. Okay.
Interesting. So that's a live shot. Louisville and Nebraska and Fort Worth on Friday.
Notre Dame is a 3 seed.
That makes no sense. They're 28-5.
They were number 1 in the country 2 weeks ago.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
All right, well, that was segment 4. Was the women's basketball update. Let's clean out the chat line and let's get out of here, man. I'm so tired. CSZ says Red State on fire. We appreciate you. Yeah, it is on fire. This is a record number of live viewers for a no Sean. Not gonna lie, terrible seating. I think our guys will show up mad and play well. We got no respect. Yep. I think Auburn is a bad matchup for us, but we pulled that upset. We're Final Four bound. Agreed. I told you they're going to put us against Haley Van Lith and Broly and Joey, y'all both respected that and agreed. We are very appreciative of you all tuning in on a Sunday night. It's very well, it's not very late, but it's late, and you all were bearing with us through our technical difficulties, and we appreciate that. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support as always. We will have everything up and running for good Friday night. Probably have a little bit of NCAA tournament basketball going on in the background while we do the show. We'll have to set up in the basement, though, because we're probably going to want to watch SmackDown and the tournament. So we'll be at a very special location next Friday night as well. So make sure you tune in.
Always put SmackDown on the
That's true.
that thing and then turn it up on the TV.
That's true.
Multi-view.
Yep, you got it. Please support our photographers out there: Jeff Nunn, TJ Barr, Justin Kruger, and Keith Russell. We will have some form of those guys in Lexington. Sponsorship opportunities. Look at the bottom left-hand corner. Tune into our show Friday night at 11:05 as we're back to our regular time slot after these 4 shows in 3 days. It's been crazy. Stay tuned to our social media and subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, even though we prefer YouTube. You can find the audio version on over 125 different podcast avenues: Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, iHeart. Hit subscribe, like, heart, plus sign, or whatever it is that Sean does on the weekends. Now, if you haven't listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, easy to find. Go to cardinalsportszone.com, go to the podcast tab, drop down menu, select CSC podcast for our new stuff, hit the archives for the old stuff. It's easy. So easy, Sean could unhook it. Never mind. Check out our exclusives on cardinalsportszone.com, the place that I'll begin. Shout out to everybody who's out there sharing the podcast. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to our guys, Marcus Maven and Steve Rummage, doing the Lord's work Monday through Friday, 10 to noon on ESPN 93.9 DeVille. Shout out to our guy, Dalton Pence, doing Mondays with DP, pause, from 6 to 7 on the Big X. And shout out to our guy, Dan Furman, who hopped on with us yesterday. 502 Circle, Floyd Street Media, represent. Where can people find you on social media, Sean?
At Elville Sean and S Barber 06.
What about your Farmers Only? Joey, your job for this week is to sign him up for Farmers Only. Joe, your social media.
My last name. Wallman.
No, I was going to say your last words, but I forgot we weren't doing last words.
Joe Wallman 526.
I'm at Jeremy_CSC. The website is at Card Sport Zone, all singular. Shout out to our cousin Jesse, who's been very supportive of Louisville. Texted me throughout, told me, how dapper I looked. I appreciated that. I already knew it, but I appreciated it. Let's get to our last word. Sean, Creighton Blue Jays. Yeet. First up on the Louisville Cardinal Yeet list. What are we going to do to the Blue Jays?
It's going to be a murking. It's going to be so bad that all that blue and that arena is going to turn red.
Okay. That was pretty weak, Sean. Joey?
Creighton about to catch this yeet down in Lexington. Yeet.
Everybody but
4
Sean.
letters, 1 word. Yeet.
Don't trademark us for that, please. But I love it.
There's no way that can be trademarked.
No, it's true. That's true. And Maryland's trash for getting a higher seed than us.
No, the NCAA Tournament Committee is what's trash this week. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And there were other teams that got hosed as well. It wasn't just us, but mainly us.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you try to put 72 teams from the same conference in the tournament, you got to mark up the waters a little bit. Don't forget, this show is shot here at Shoot 360. I believe Spill in the Ville with Terrence Jennings and Blake McCauley. Part of the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast Network. If you're interested in getting on the network, let us know. We might have a spot for you. Listen, tell your friends, tell their friends about Cardinal Sports Zone so we can be friends. No Diddy. We love to talk to you all. We love to have this connection with you all. Thank you so much for allowing me to do. I know I keep pulling this up. This is because of you all. You all allowed me to be able to go cover the tournament and do a post-game show courtside at the Spectrum Center, just about 100 feet away from Carlos Boozer and Luke Hancock. And who's the dude from North Carolina with the fro that was up there?
Joel Berry
and the crew, man. That was so special. It was so awesome. Guys, we thank you again for all the support. We love you guys. Until next time, this has been the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. Louisville going to start a new winning streak starting Thursday, says Robert. Pretty cool. Both coaches. ACC title game first season. Fresh legs will make a huge difference. Absolutely. Walls would have made it, but Curry and Russell were hurt. I agree. See y'all.